This is Daniel Goetz, founder of GoodPop, a notable player in today's U.S. popsicle market, which was valued at $1.3 billion last year. Inspired by paletas he had in Mexico City, Daniel began creating and selling ice pops as a senior at the University of Texas at Austin.
I knew nothing about CPG, about route to market, about supply chain. We were driving a lot, running around all over Texas, making deliveries for years. I just knew that we had this delicious pop with lower sugar, real fruit, and there was nothing like it on the market.
Today, GoodPop is sold nationwide in over 10,000 stores, and its products are made without any artificial sweeteners, flavors, or dyes. The company, which says it's expecting to bring in $60 million in gross sales in 2025, has expanded beyond fruit pops to include ice cream bars and sandwiches as well.
My great-grandfather came to the US in 1918, and he sold consigned ice out of a pushcart. And the full circle moment for me was that I started GoodPop in the exact same way, selling frozen treats out of a pushcart. I am so fortunate to grow up in a family of entrepreneurs, but at the same time, I knew that I needed to make my own mark on this world and do it on my own. GoodPop has given me the ability to start the next chapter of our family story.
For 90 years, Daniel's family ran Grocers Supply in Houston, a company that supplied family-owned grocery stores throughout Texas. After his grandfather passed in 2004, they decided to sell it.
I worked at that business in middle school, doing odd jobs. All of my family members worked there, and I got to spend some amazing moments with my grandfather.
In 2005, Daniel moved to Austin for college and started out as a government major.
I realized that while I loved doing that, I had this passion for business, and at that time, social enterprise was really connecting with consumers in a different kind of way with the Tom's one-for-one model, and really this notion that businesses could exist, turn a profit, and exist to do good.
While on a trip to Mexico City in 2008, Daniel drew inspiration from fresh fruit paletas.
Think locally grown fruit, blended, frozen on a stick, and you have it on the street. The way that it was done in Mexico was so different than the way it was done here in the US.
After getting this idea, Daniel also thought back to his days in middle school working for his family's business.
I'm seeing how through business you can actually impact lives and the future of families. It just was such a clear moment for me that this is the way to live. This is the way to make an impact.
In June 2009, Daniel decided to make his first batch of GoodPops. He says he used around $3,500 in savings from a lawn mowing business he started with his friends in middle school.
The initial pops were made on a little machine at a paleteria that made 80 pops an hour. I was a senior here in Austin, living on campus. I would go in at night, cut the fruit, blend the fruit, pour them into the molds by hand, freeze them up, and then in the morning I would load up my car that's still with me today with those pops that I made last night and take them to the grocery store. I would go make deliveries or go to events, and then in the afternoon I would sell them out at parks or on the trail here in Austin. Any opportunity that I could to put these products in front of Austinites, to introduce them and to see if we were onto something, I did.
Daniel says he also drew from these savings for the initial signage and the pushcart he would take around Austin, from farmers markets to music festivals, selling the pops for $2 each.
I wanted to have these pops at a fair price. I didn't want them to be overly expensive. The main thing was getting people to try this thing.
Then, for the Austin City Limits Festival in October 2009, Daniel made his biggest batch yet, 18,000 popsicles, over the course of 3 weeks.
Now ACL has 60,000 people that come. It's always scorching, scorching hot. And the one thing that you would want on the way into the ACL Fest would be a pop. And the idea was to go out, use that as an opportunity to kickstart the entire business. And we go out to ACL, and it is a cold, sloppy mess. The entire park turned into a mud fest. Those 18,000 pops, we sold 4. I thought that this was gonna kickstart and change everything. And we were left with 17,996 pops that I had to figure out what to do with, and no money.
Daniel put the popsicles into cold storage in a nearby town for $50 a month. In March 2010, he decided to give them away for free at South by Southwest. He then finished up his senior year at UT Austin and graduated in May.
At this time, GoodPop was just a website. We had our formulas that I had launched, and we had no money and just a website.
After graduation, Daniel worked a variety of odd jobs, from selling photography to designing logos to building websites. In early 2011, on a whim, he says he decided to work on maximizing SEO for GoodPop's website.
When you searched for organic frozen pops or organic popsicles, because none existed at that time, GoodPop was actually the #1 result.
A marketing firm called Manifold contacted him a week later asking for a custom quote for a large order of popsicles.
They asked us to give them a quote for 50,000 pops with custom packaging, custom sticks. We ended up putting in a bid. We won the bid. We made these 50,000 pops. I hand stamped every single pop stick. Without that stroke of luck, GoodPop would not exist.
For the pops, GoodPop says Manifold paid $80,000, 50% upon signing and 50% upon completion. Half of the payment was pure profit, a lifeline for the company. Then, through a friend, Daniel was able to connect with the Whole Foods Southwest office.
At the time, I was living with a friend, and I let him know, hey, we're trying to get into Whole Foods. And he said, hey, I play soccer on my co-ed soccer team with someone who works at Whole Foods in a store. Maybe you can talk to her. And I connect with her, and she gives me the name of a person at the Whole Foods Southwest office. And so I pack up my pops and put them in a little bag, take them in there. They said, all right, we'll activate your products. And I'm like, oh, amazing. I think I just got myself into Whole Foods. And then I said, okay, well, how do I get my products into Whole Foods? And he said, oh, no, you're gonna have to go store by store, and you can go talk to them, and if they want to bring it in, they'll bring it in. I started going store by store, building relationships, shaking hands, talking to the people who stock the freezers, talking to people at receiving, giving them samples, making them believers in that, hey, people might actually want a better for you pop. So I would drive to Houston, make the pops, drive them back to Austin, make the deliveries as soon as receiving opened, 6 a.m. And then in the afternoon, I would stick around and do a demo and meet customers and cut pop samples and tell them about all these great things about what makes our pops different. And we did that for 4 years, store by store, driving all over the state, making deliveries in my car. I put 212,000 miles on my Toyota, running around all over Texas, making deliveries for years.
The company says that in 2014, it brought in $1.3 million in gross sales. That same year, Whole Foods offered to take over distribution in the Southwest and Rocky Mountain regions, which meant that Daniel would no longer have to distribute the pops himself.
There were many times where I was completely exhausted. I think for the first 10 years of the business, I neglected my own health, my own mental health, and I think that takes a massive toll on you as an entrepreneur. You're a human being, we have to take care of ourselves, and I think for 10 years I did not do that.
In 2017, the company attained national distribution at Whole Foods. The next year, GoodPop got into Costco and Walmart as well. Daniel says that since the beginning, GoodPop has remained a bootstrap business and has never taken on any outside funding.
Bootstrapping helps you control your own destiny. You don't need to give up equity for working capital. Anytime I talk to a peer, young entrepreneur just getting started, I want to open their mind to that. Don't give up equity for packaging or for products.
Since its inception, the company has focused on corporate social responsibility through various initiatives. This includes ethical sourcing of ingredients and community involvement, partnering with 56 nonprofits in total.
The reason that I do this and the reason that everyone that does this with me every day is the good in GoodPop. It's all about using our products and our platform as a vehicle of doing good and giving back to every single area that the business touches.
In August 2023, GoodPop released a line of mini cans for kids made with real fruit juice and sparkling water. The company decided to discontinue the product in January 2025 after receiving feedback from customers.
We reformulated to bring a little bit more juice, but we were not willing to compromise on any added sugar or any added additional sweeteners. And from there, it still probably was not sweet enough for what consumers are used to.
As for the future of GoodPop, its priorities will remain consistent.
The future looks like doubling down on what makes our products great. We've made a lot of progress in 15 years, and we've been able to get bigger food companies to improve their products. That's the role of a challenger brand like a GoodPop. GoodPop has given me the ability to actually go out, create something on my own, make that impact, and start the next chapter of our family story.